everybody. So I'm doing a video update here outside St. Paul. There's the sign, it's dark. There's the sign, and then over there is the atelier, those bottom windows there, that's where everybody is for an event having to do with this CRITS program that they have. So Centre Innovation, technology. I forget what the R is. The S is definitely social. I forget what the R is. Anyway, so the theme of the entire CRITS program is this anti-fascism garbage that they are indoctrinating students with over here. And so what that garbage boils down to is that all right-leaning views are fascist. So definitely I'm opposed to that. That's not true. And that's not science, and that's not innovation. And so then, those are some of the reasons why I'm here to protest this CRITS event. Today we have Simon Tremblay, Pepin leading, the event. He's responsible for it. His students are here, I would think. They're probably required to be here. Forced that garbage is likely forced down their throats. Many of them maybe mistakenly think that it's real because these people are in positions of power and authority, and they're supposed to be, educated and informed and intellectually sound of mind. None of these things are true, and so then not everybody knows that, and so then that's part of the reason why I'm out here to raise awareness as well. Simon Tremblay Pepin was also involved in the very big racist and genocidal pylon that onto an MMIWG survivor here that occurred last year. At the time, Simon Tremblay Pepin was the acting director of the program, the social innovation program, the department. I think he was also vice dean for a short time as well, or something. This whole musical chairs with the administrators, that's part of this scam they got going over here. And they rotate administrators because they all need to take their turn in administering this kind of violence. And they all need to avoid accruing too much of these sort of violent events that they're like administering onto people and becoming accountable for. So I think that there's probably other reasons. I really don't know. There's probably a lot of people in academia, especially staff and faculty, who understand more about why they're doing that musical chairs. It's not just here. It was happening at Laurentian as well with the administrators. They're always moving deans around. They're always moving directors around pretty much on a yearly basis, and sometimes even more frequently. So, I mean, I can guess why that is. I actually don't know why that is. And I think it's, just to give everybody their turn and to make sure that it's just not one person that is accruing all these accountabilities, right? And that the accountabilities for this kind of violence that they're administering is sort of like spread out more evenly. Think about equality or equity in the violence. Everybody has to take a turn or something. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me about about the reasons why they're doing that, I'm sure I'm missing something. I could be I don't think that's just it, what I'm saying. I think there's probably some other reasons why they're moving administrators around on a regular basis. And if you know why, you can go ahead and get in touch to let me know. Simon Tremblay Pepin was involved in the racist pylon. as the director. So what happened is that they erased me from my class, Amanda Wilson's class, the class that I complained about racism. Amanda Wilson erased my research and rewrote it for me. That's a standard tactic that they use against First Nations grad students who are trying to do real research. They literally erase it and they literally rewrite it for you from a non-Indigenous perspective, and it's racism and it's dehumanization. They also expect you to take that they expect you to accept the dehumanization and to proceed with fake research, and they also expect you to take that bullshit into your community and put that bullshit onto your people. And so then there's a lot of PhDs, a lot of the First Nations PhDs that got their PhD, they had to go through that and they had to do what I just said. So, I mean, I've said this many times. It's not for me. I'm definitely going to stand up and say absolutely not to that. And so instead, I complained of racism, and that's when the institutional violence began, the formal violence. So then, so Simon Tremblay Pepin is involved in the first administrative, the false and retaliatory administrative action that was brought onto me. He's named, it's documented. And then he pretended he didn't know about it after his name appears right on it. And so then, he wrote me an email basically one day going, oh, so I've learned that there's been a complaint launched against you, as if he had no idea that that had been planned. And it had been planned for sometime before the reading week. And there was a whole bunch of individuals involved in that conspiracy, including the Vice Rector of Administration and Research, Jean-Marc Barrette, who was present on the day that I was erased from my class to intimidate me. So then, even though Simon Tremblay Pepin was in a clear conflict of interest, having been named in a administrative complaint against me, he continued to mark my work. So these people don't even care. You could say that they don't understand what a conflict of interest is, especially a very blatant and clear conflict. But I don't buy that. It's gotten to the point where they just don't care. They pretend like the laws don't matter. They pretend like, it doesn't matter if something is not ethical or not legal. They act like those things don't matter whatsoever, and they can just pretend as if they don't. And so then I contested every single grade that Simon Tremblay Pepin assigned to my work. He devalued everything that I did. There is no standard, there is no grading methodology applied anywhere. No one in the Department of Social Innovation can produce a grading methodology. There's no way to do any kinds of comparisons. And he even threatened to mark me more harshly and to bring my grade down even lower, which is another form of discrimination, since that's not happening to any other students. So then, So what happened is that even though, because I think that the first retaliatory complaint against me was not proceeding the way that they had hoped it would, Simon Tremblay Pepin launched a second retaliatory, false, fabricated administrative complaint against me, this time for academic fraud. So basically, there were some errors. I think there was 4 or 5 errors on my last assignment. So my last assignment was technically the first draft of my research proposal, and it is technically the first draft of the research that I proposed to do, and it was a product of 2 years of work, and it's based on authentic sources. But it wasn't technically it was a draft research proposal, and the formal research proposal that I was supposed to do as part of this program was supposed to occur in the spring semester of 2025, the one that just went by before fall. And so this was not that formal proposal. This was just a final assignment for Amanda Wilson's class that all students were expected to complete, and it was the last of many assignments, and it needed to be done, on a timeline and on a deadline that was not at all lengthy by any means whatsoever. And then when I submitted it, Technically, it was 2 hours and 13 minutes late, as I submitted it at 2:13 in the a.m. of the next day that it was due on the day that I was working on it the last day, like crazy all day, from the minute I get up until the minute I went to bed, which was not until the next day around 2:30 in the morning after I submitted that assignment, technically 2 hours and 13 minutes late. So that was after many days of working around the clock on getting it to the best quality that I possibly could. So and my goal was to limit the excuses that he would have to devalue it, right? To give me a shitty mark. And so then, I don't know what happened, but there was 4 or 5 errors in my references, but errors are not fabrications. And so then what happened is that he didn't contact me to ask me about the errors in my reference list for that proposal. Instead, you really should have evidence if you're going to accuse a student of something as serious as academic fraud, and he didn't have any of that. So what he did is he took the errors in the reference list and he used that to randomly pull out various articles off the internet that randomly had similar volume numbers, similar dates, okay, similar issues, right? So a journal, an academic journal will often come from a volume, and it will have an issue number, and then there's page numbers as well. So there's a standard way of citing a reference like that, so that you could locate the journal articles that you're citing. And so then from the errors that were in my reference list, he used some of those issue numbers, some of those page numbers, some of those volume numbers, and some of that kind of stuff, titles of journals, this kind of thing, to pull out just random journals. And then he accused me of having plagiarized those specific articles that he pulled off the internet, and that's fabricated evidence. It has nothing to do, I've never seen those articles before in my life. They have nothing to do with my work. But there are articles that do have to do with my work, some of which I've been working with for 2 years. In one instance, it's the correction that I made is a journal article that I got off of Amanda Wilson's first course in the fall of 2023, which was my very first course. And so when I corrected those errors, you can go to that article and you can see how it relates to my work. My work remains unchanged. And then you can also trace that to the fall of 2023 Amanda Wilson's syllabus, and that demonstrates that that my sources are authentic, and also that they go back. That this is 2 years of work that I submitted to Simon Tremblay Pepin. And that wasn't the only article that came from a syllabus from a professor's class. There were a few others in the 4 or 5 or whatever it was that were there discrepancies. Another 2 or 3 of them came from professors, so that also documents that it shows that this is how my work progressed over the 2 years where I was taking classes. And so, of course, because I didn't cheat, I didn't fabricate any sources. My sources are authentic. I do my work. And so then, I was able to correct my reference list, no problem. Anybody can go to my ResearchGate and find my research proposal, and you can cross-reference my references to the citation and what I'm saying about those references, and the evidence that I'm pointing to in the proposal. And then you can have a look at the authentic source, and you can see that these are not made up. That these things are these references are real. So I cite them in my work, and they refer to actual authentic sources that exist. So any idiot can figure that out. All you got to do is download the information. And do the cross-referencing, and anybody that can read and understand English will be able to establish that these references relate to one another. And as well, I posted the some evidence of it. I did a video some months ago now where I went through each and every reference. That's in my information package if you have one. You can also find on my YouTube, Magazine Media 25. You can find that video where I go through each and every reference. I tell you where I got it, and I demonstrate the reference. I show you how many times I used it before, how many times I cite, all the various assignments that I cited that particular reference in before the last one that is the subject of that fake investigation. And so then so like I'm saying, I mean, it's easy for anyone to see. It's easy for me to prove that my sources are authentic, and it's easy for anyone who is who is not intellectually challenged and that can read and understand English. It's easy for them to figure that out as well. So, regardless of that evidence, there was a fake investigation led by Mikhail Sagan. And a couple of others, and then that fake investigation had predetermined results that came as no surprise, and those predetermined fake results of a fake investigation were reinforced by the executive of canon law. All of that information has also been documented. So my sign today says Simon Tremblay Pepin fabricates fake evidence. That last word is evidence. On the back, today is everybody's favorite. EDI is a scam. My handheld, I have EDI is a scam on the handheld in the front and also the wearable in the back. So everybody's favorite is visible from both directions. If you're coming at me, you can see everybody's favorite sign. And if you're coming up from behind me, you can see everybody's favorite sign. And the other side of this sign says St. Paul teaches racism and genocide. And that is what they're teaching here, basically, they're not interested in real First Nations research. They're not interested in real First Nations philosophies or methodologies. They're only interested in extracting what they can from us to use in their ideological war. To basically, it's like to realize the Marxist dream of bringing down capitalism and Western civilization or whatever. And they don't even believe in it, right? Because it's a load of hogwash. These people aren't totally stupid. They know that it's fake. The reason that they perpetuate this nonsense through this CRITS program and through their indoctrination of students, their exploitation of international students, the reason that they do that is because if they want to keep their fake jobs, they're going to have to push this BS about how every right-leaning viewpoint is fascism. And they have to do that with a lot of gaslighting and a lot of pretending because they don't have anything real, and it's very embarrassing for them. The only people that really the only people that buy that after having seen some of the evidence that it's a scam, and after understanding the methods and the methodology of the entire of the way the scam is administered, you'd have to be an incapable thinker, and you'd have to have a really low IQ after getting that information to believe that this is real, right? So that's why I'm saying that they know it's not real, and they do what they have to do to keep their fake jobs. And in my view, that's a lot like prostitution. You know what I'm saying? So they're selling themselves, and they have to do this fake science, and they're not doing any real science because that they wouldn't be able to keep their jobs. They'd be erased if they were if they didn't fall in line with the cult. So You know, in my view, it's just like prostitution, and these people are prostitutes. And so then I'm definitely not on board for that. Instead, I'm going to, stand up for myself and the dehumanization, racism, and erasure that I experienced here at St. Paul Fake University and Dangerous Cult. And I'm going to continue to raise awareness and warn everybody about what really goes on in these fake institutions that cannot sustain themselves without all these scams, you guys. The model is not sustainable, and it's only a matter of time before all these people are, you know, out on their asses. So that's really all I have to say for tonight. It's already a pretty long video. Happy to be out here telling the truth and warning people about the dangers of these predators that are out here exploiting people in very serious ways that in many different ways leads to death. I mean, you know, like, it's not just erasure of First Nations, it's also exploitation of international students. People die. It's not okay. Thanks for watching.